Okay, so Recon is our counter. All of like 2 or 3 reps, maybe at most all year. I think we ran it once or twice in an actual game. Same thing, just flipping the guard and back's responsibility of which one of those 2 they're going to. Here's our like one actual rep of it that meant anything. So we run a lot of split zone and a lot of power out of that alignment, and they get a nice little counter action out of it. Pick up play side. He misses, but just like you guys were talking about, is follow the backside guard puller, even though it's a back, follow him and come out that front side.
Do you ever run power with the back going to the other side, or do you only do counter that way? You know what I mean? Because your power was always the back.
Oh, like same side? It was because normally our power was matching how we were running our split zone out of that specific formation for the week. So normally it was same side because then our split zone was coming across. We do have, there's some in there, like there's some more cuts. I was just trying to make sure that we get to the power read and some of the other stuff. But if we get through all that, we can go back. There's got to be 1 or 2 that does it. Yeah. It normally, we try to have it match whatever we're doing. So if we're on the line of scrimmage 11 personnel, the back's probably going to be with it because we're going to run split zone that way. Then we'll run power that way. So the alignment looks the same. Okay, so power read. This is a huge one, and everybody coaches it a little bit different, so I'm going to talk about the way that we do it. You treat it as the base 5 are going to block power, so gap down and then pull for the play side backer. The defensive end, who is normally kicked out by a tight end or a back, is left unblocked. That is a quarterback's responsibility. We teach it, and to me, the best way to teach it at first, because it's weird because the sweep and the inside run are both going to the same side. Normally the runs are going opposite each other. We try to teach it that the back is in a full sprint to the sideline, because that's the only way that I've seen that you can actually get the back to run hard enough during the mesh phase of the run to outrun the defensive end. Because normally they're sitting there and they're trying to wait for the quarterback to make a decision. No, run to force that guy to do it. Because this is kind of opposite how we normally give the approach of give it until you can't, because it still is, even though it's going outside, give it until that guy tackles him and then you can pull it and run inside. And the reason that we try to coach it in that same sense or in that manner is because we don't want the quarterback being an inside runner. Like that's not like, Noel's a former NFL guy and a pro style offensive guy, and then a bunch of former NFL guys on staff. We're not a quarterback design run team. We've done it in the past because of the athletes that we've had, but it's not what we want to hang our hat on, so it's not necessarily what we want to focus on. So we're trying to give the ball as much as possible. I think one of the biggest coaching points, at least at the college level that I've seen, is we focus so much on hat for a hat that when you run it against a base 4-2 quarters team, your pulling guard and your number 3 receiver are actually blocking the same guy. They're both responsible for the mic, because he's pulling inside out for the play side backer, who is the mic. The third wide receiver, because you normally run it to a 3-by-1 at first, is the third guy counting inside out. So they could end up on the same guy, and if you don't make them all aware of that, I have found that it actually freaks the kids out that a wide receiver and a guard are blocking the same guy. My wide receivers could not understand why they had to block the same guy that the guard was pulling for. The guard is pulling inside out for the inside run. The wide receiver is pinning for the sweep. So they have to understand that they're both blocking for a different runner on the same play. I think that's a major coaching point for the inside-most guy that's blocking, because sometimes that completely dumbfounds them and they'll stop trying to block the number 3.